The Confessions of Saint Augustine, Book 10, Chapter 10. But now, when I hear that there be three kinds of questions, whether the thing be, what is it, or what kind it is, I do indeed hold the images of the sounds of which those words be composed, and that those sounds with the noise pass through the air, and now are not. But the things themselves which are signified by those sounds I never reached with any sense of my body, nor ever discerned them otherwise than in my mind. Yet in my memory have I laid up not their images, but themselves, which how they entered into me, let them say if they can, for I have gone over all the avenues of my flesh, but can find by which they entered. For the eyes say, if those images were colored, we reported of them. The ears say, if they sound, we gave knowledge of them. The nostrils say, if they smell, they passed by us. The taste says, unless they have a savor, ask me not. The touch says, if it have not size, I handled it not. If I handled it not, I gave no notice of it. Whence and how entered these things into my memory, I know not how. For when I learnt them, I gave no credit to another man's mind, but recognized them in mine, and approving them for true, I commanded them to be, laying them up as it were, whence I might bring them forth when I willed. In my heart then they were, even before I learnt them, but in my memory they were not. Where then? Or wherefore, when they were spoken, did I acknowledge them and said, so is it is true, unless that they were already in the memory, but so thrown back and buried as it were in deeper recesses, that had not the suggestion of another drawn them forth, I had perchance been unable to conceive of them. Chapter 11. Wherefore we find that to learn these things whereof we imbibe, nor the images by our senses, but perceive within by themselves, without images as they are, is nothing else but by conception, to receive, and by marking to take heed that those things which the memory did before contain at random and unarranged, be laid up at hand as it were in that same memory where before they lay unknown, scattered and neglected, and so readily occur to the mind familiarized to them. And how many things of this kind does my memory bear, which have been already found out, and as I said, placed as it were at hand, which we are said to have learned and come to know, which were I, for some short space of time, to cease to call to mind, they are again so buried and glide back, as it were, into the deeper recesses, that they must again, as if new, he thought out thence, for other abode they have known. But they must be drawn together again, that they may be known, that is to say, they must as it were be collected together from their dispersion, whence the word cogitation is derived. For cogio, collect, and cogito, recollect, have the same relation to each other as ago and agito, faccio and factito. But the mind has appropriated to itself this word, cogitation, so that not what is collected anyhow, but what is recollected, i.e., brought together in the mind, is properly said to be cogitated or thought upon. Chapter 12. The memory contains also reasons and laws innumerable of numbers and dimensions, none of which have any bodily sense impressed, seeing they have neither color nor sound nor taste nor smell nor touch. I have heard the sound of the words whereby when discussed they are denoted, but the sounds are other than the things. For the sounds are other in Greek than in Latin, but the things are neither Greek nor Latin nor any other language. I have seen the lines of architects, the very finest, like a spider's thread, but those are still different. They are not the images of those lines which the eye of flesh showed me. He knows them, whosoever without any conception whatsoever of a body recognizes them within himself. I have perceived also the numbers of the things with which we number all the senses of my body, but those numbers wherewith we number are different, nor are they the images of these, and therefore they indeed are. Let him who sees them not deride me for saying these things, and I will pity him while he derides me.